my name is Philip Chavez. I'm from CAI Designs, and we are taking a walk through the digital door with and I'm going to get it wrong, but I needed to practice it, Director of Glass Manufacturing and Design, Frank, and how do you say your last name?
Englesby.
Englesby. Excellent.
Yeah.
Welcome, Frank.
Hey, that's my pleasure. It's great.
Absolutely. So we have been working with Fine Art. It was Fine Art Lamps previously, but now it's Fine Art Lighting, correct?
Handcrafted lighting. I think it's handcrafted lighting. Yeah, it's a recent change.
But it's
after close to 80 years of the same name. I guess it's a little bit of a change for everybody.
Absolutely, but that change is so nice because now instead of it referring to just lamps, it's referring to these beautiful elements in the customization that you're able to do with your line, right? So what I have here are a couple of different elements that actually you designed. Am I correct?
Not that particular one, but that absolutely, yeah. That was a piece, yeah, and that's my design as well.
This is my favorite new release that I saw at Dallas, or it was at High Point Market. And you guys are going back to Dallas now, which is really exciting. So
yeah.
The first market back in January, am I correct?
Yes.
Excellent, excellent. So tell me, how did you get into designing glass?
Well, I come from a glass making sort of family. My brother was one of the pioneers in studio glass making in the United States, and he started that in 1968. He's he passed away now, but he 15 years older than me, so I've been around glass since I was 9 years old, and never really thought of it as a career. My dad, on the opposite side of the spectrum, I have my brother as this artist, which I idolized, and my dad was a naval captain. So it was a little interesting household in the late 60s, early 70s for me.
I'm sure.
But I had the opportunity to go to Europe right out of high school, and I just thought I got a grant to go to a glass school, and I just saw it as a great opportunity to go to Europe for a couple of years. I had no intention of making it my career. I really wanted to come back and be in business and do business, and that was my forte. I was always a kid that had some sort of scam going on, and but it really kind of got its hooks in me. I had this tremendous class with 16 people from all around the world, and we're all starting off at the same level, and it was a 2-year intensive, and you learn everything about glass making and co-working and making furnaces and making colors. So it was a very comprehensive class. And so I came back to the United States and started working for $5 an hour, in a studio. And I've been doing it ever since. And so that was, when I came back, it was 1981. And I've been doing it ever since. And just so you know, I've got my first piece of glass.
Oh, how cool.
And I was talking to you about this earlier. And I made this in my brother's studio, and it is signed. I signed it, and then the date on it is 1974. So I was 13 when I made this little little chalice. So
the closest
thousands of pieces of glass later,
the closest that I ever did was some kind of pottery for my grandparents that I would have made. So that's a beautiful feat. Now, yeah. I want to go back to your schooling a little bit. And you were talking about building the coal fires and learning about colors. And color is something that I really, really love. And so are there certain colors that are really incredibly difficult to achieve or to regulate? What does that look like?
Probably what I do a lot of is I'll mix and blend colors. And because when we're working with a color, I don't want to use what's called straight colors. It's sort of like a painter if he just wants to use straight color paints out of the tube. I like to blend, and you can do similar types of things. You can blend the colors together to make new colors.
Yeah, right? Mm-hmm.
Using them together. I would say the hardest color to control is red. Red wants to go dark and murky fairly quickly, and it's just one of those things that you use a little bit too much, it's too dark, and if it goes too light, it's orange.
what I would love to learn is, what's the process for you to design an element for a different chandelier or any kind of,
like say for instance, the plume piece you have there, the feather.
this one?
That came from, and I believe you might have a video of this. We did an amazing installation for University of Miami, and we did 250 full-size ibis birds, and it's hanging. It's one of the largest glass installations in the United States, and it was our kind of our first foray into a non-lighting, sort of site-specific project.
I mean, I remember seeing this video, and I remember my jaw dropping, because the way that I see crystal and the way that I see glass specifically is it's a way of wrapping light and diffusing it and creating this multi-dimensional kind of space. And so what I really loved about it, and like you said, it wasn't specifically with a light fixture. Instead, it was these beautiful ibis birds that were just floating in the air. And I mean, you guys are making these all out of crystal, and it's dichroic crystal, correct?
We used part of the coloration is a dichroic crystal.
Okay,
yeah.
Great. But like,
yeah, so the plume, the piece came out of that. I had extra wings and I was cutting on it, and so I started to kind of manipulate it, slump it, and what I was trying to create, was a feather, and just a large feather. So that's where it started from. Sometimes, and probably like your painting, comes from the inside out. Some things comes from the outside in.
So how many people would you say are on your production team then?
We have altogether, we have in our glass department, we have 15 people, and so we have glass blowers, we have a cold shop, we have people in our slumping facility. It's an amazing, robust facility, and I wanted to say, Phil, anytime you want to come down, you got to see it, because it'll kind of blow your mind, because it's one of those things where people walk in and they just kind of drop their jaw, because you see, maybe you've seen glass blowing on TV, and you see different things, but when you feel the heat and you hear the noise and you're in that environment, even especially customers, they just go, oh, okay, we get this now. We get it.
Absolutely. And I mean, I'm looking at the two collections that specifically I have, and it's the Lunea and the Plume. And I mean, exactly what you're saying right now is like, I'm looking at, here, I'll take this tag off. But I mean, to be able to see something like this and have this beautiful faceted edge, and then all of a sudden you turn this over and you have this beautiful texture that's going on here. So I mean, what you're saying exactly is what's being purveyed in these elements as well. So beautiful job.
Literally that process of 6 months of from that, okay, here's sample number one, okay, and to a point of really feeling comfortable about putting it into our line where we can replicate it and make it look good.
Absolutely. And I mean, with these undulating textures and surfaces that you have, I mean, that distributes light in itself. So you have to figure out how to evenly cast light through something that looks so irregular too. So I mean,
right.
That's insane in itself. Well, Frank, I want to thank you for taking a walk through CAI Design's digital door. You've definitely inspired me quite a bit, and I can't wait to get to Miami so I could actually shake your hand and take a walk through your studio.
Well, I would really enjoy that, and I'm looking forward to, hopefully, we'll meet at High Point here this fall.